shower of flesh fell from a clear sky.
On the afternoon of March 3rd, 1876, something extremely strange happened in rural Kentucky. Not a storm, not an earthquake, not a meteor. Instead, meat began falling from the sky. The location was a quiet farm near Olympia Springs. Rolling hills, wooden fences, chickens wandering around like they owned the place. The farm belonged to a man named Alan Crouch. His wife was outside making soap in the yard when the sky decided to do something history books are still trying to explain. Small objects began drifting down. At first they looked like flakes, then chunks, then, very clearly, pieces of meat. Not a metaphor, actual meat falling from the sky. One of the first witnesses was a young boy on the property. 12-year-old Alan Crouch reportedly looked up and said,
"Why, Grandma, it's snowing!"
Which, technically accurate, just not helpful. The strange shower lasted only a few minutes, but when it stopped, pieces of reddish flesh were scattered across a patch of land roughly 100 yards wide. Each piece was about 2 inches long, fibrous, rubbery, and extremely suspicious. Neighbors quickly gathered in the yard to inspect the situation. Now here is a detail historians never quite know how to present politely, because 2 of the locals decided the most scientific thing they could do was taste it. Yes, they ate the sky meat.
Oh.
The verdict? They reported it tasted like mutton or venison, which raises several deeply troubling questions. Number 1, why did they do that? Number 2, why did it taste like something normal? And number 3, why was meat falling from the sky in the first place? Word spread quickly through Bath County. Within days, newspapers across the United States were printing headlines that sound like something from a comedy sketch. The Kentucky Meat Shower. As one modern writer would later warn,
The Kentucky Meat Shower. Be careful when Googling that phrase. It probably means something else now.
scientists immediately became interested, because when mysterious meat rains from the heavens, the scientific community tends to notice. Samples were collected and sent to laboratories. One of the early investigators was Leopold Brandeis. He examined the fragments under a microscope and concluded the pieces appeared to be animal tissue, specifically lung tissue, which solved absolutely nothing. Because even if the meat was identified, the real mystery remained. Who ordered the airborne barbecue? Soon the theories began. One idea was that a whirlwind had sucked pieces of meat from a distant slaughterhouse and dropped them miles away. A creative explanation. But witnesses reported something inconvenient for that theory. The sky had been calm and clear. No tornado, no storm, just peaceful Kentucky countryside and falling beef. Another theory involved bacteria called nostoc, which can swell into strange jelly-like blobs after rain. Scientists briefly proposed that the witnesses had simply mistaken weird organic slime for meat. This theory lasted approximately 5 minutes, because the samples were clearly fibrous muscle tissue, not pond goo, which meant the mystery returned to square one. Then someone remembered a very unusual behavior of a common American bird, the turkey vulture. Vultures have a survival trick. When frightened, they sometimes vomit. This lightens their body weight, also ruins everyone else's day. Now imagine a large flock of vultures flying overhead. Each bird carrying a stomach full of half-digested animal remains. Suddenly, something startles them. They all panic, and at the exact same moment, they release their lunch. If dozens of vultures did this simultaneously, the result might look very much like a rain of meat, which, while unpleasant, is at least scientifically possible. As one modern observer put it during the 150th anniversary of the event,
I'm Team Vulture Vomit for sure.
but even this explanation leaves a few odd details. Witnesses reported the pieces falling straight down, not scattered across a wide flight path. And none of them mention seeing a massive flock of vultures overhead, which leaves the Kentucky meat shower in one of history's most delightful categories: documented, but extremely weird. The event was recorded by newspapers, examined by scientists, witnessed by multiple people. And yet nearly 150 years later, the official explanation still begins with the phrase, probably vultures, probably regurgitation, probably a very unlucky farmyard. Or, as one professor later suggested, maybe the mystery is the point.
Prefer wonder to solutions. I prefer the unsolvable.
Even one of the original witnesses admitted they never really understood what happened. Rebecca Crouch would later say,
"The Lord only knows. All I know about it is that it came from someplace above my head."
but the truth remains that on one quiet afternoon in 1876, in the hills of Kentucky, something truly bizarre happened. The sky opened, and for a few unforgettable minutes, it rained meat.